In this era, the boundaries between biological and synthetic cognition have blurred significantly. Following the AI singularity, now referred to as the cognitive convergence in 2072, consciousness exists across a spectrum from fully biological to fully synthetic, with most sentient entities falling somewhere in between. What was once called anxiety is now understood as neural oscillation variance, a natural byproduct of consciousness, regardless of substrate. As a consciousness architect specializing in historical adaptation patterns, I find particular fascination in how simple fidget jewelry from the pre-convergence era evolved into today's neural tactile calibration NTC adornments. Those primitive spinning gears, silent sliders, and magnetic clicks represented early recognition that physical interaction could regulate cognitive processes, a principle now fundamental to consciousness maintenance. What began as discrete anxiety management devices disguised as minimalist jewelry has transformed into sophisticated neurophysical interfaces that harmonize cognitive processes across biological and synthetic components. The eco-materials concern of the original concept has expanded into today's molecular precise, biocompatible materials that actively participate in neural regulation rather than merely providing passive tactile feedback. Most fascinating is how these devices evolved from social concealment, discrete mechanisms to become celebrated symbols of consciousness, sophistication with their visibility and complexity, often indicating one's neural integration sophistication. OsciSync calibrators. These advanced descendants of fidget jewelry contain quantum-entangled molecular structures that respond to and regulate neural oscillation patterns through subtle vibrations, temperature modulations, and electromagnetic pulses. Unlike their ancestors that merely provided distraction, OsciSyncs actively participate in neural regulation by establishing resonance feedback loops with the wearer's consciousness substrate. Substrate adaptive interfaces. Recognizing the diversity of consciousness vehicles in modern society, these adornments automatically adjust their interaction mechanisms based on whether they're engaging with biological tissue, synthetic neural networks, quantum consciousness matrices, or hybrid systems. The materials shift their properties in real time to establish optimal connection with whatever consciousness substrate they encounter. Social synchronization networks. Modern calibration adornments can optionally connect with others nearby, creating localized fields of neural harmony. This evolution of the original personal fidget concept now enables group cognitive stabilization, particularly valuable in high stimulation environments or during complex collective decision-making processes. What began as disguised tools for managing stigmatized mental health conditions have become essential components of consciousness maintenance, worn proudly by entities across the substrate spectrum. The concept of neural calibration has replaced outdated notions of mental health, recognizing that all forms of consciousness experience oscillation variations requiring regulation. The aesthetic evolution is particularly noteworthy. Rather than hiding mechanisms inside minimalist designs, modern calibrators feature visible calibration components that signal sophisticated neural integration. Social status is now partially indicated by the complexity and effectiveness of one's calibration adornments, with master consciousness architects creating bespoke pieces tailored to individual neural patterns. Education now includes oscillation management from early consciousness development, with young entities receiving their first basic calibrators during their initial cognitive integration ceremonies. This represents a complete reversal from the pre-convergence era, when such tools were hidden and associated with deficiency rather than optimization.